It's open when it's light, it's open when it's dark. It's the treasure hunt amusement park. Masquerade and Forrest Fenn are closed, but there are plenty more rides than just those. There's Beacon Star and Treasure Man, Vegas Die and Oak Island. Give 'em a try and you'll be smiling. This place never closes, that's for certain. There's always a reason to keep searching. Boots on the ground, look, look, look. Your ticket to the ride is the book. The dream of the treasure is the hook. The dream of the treasure is the hook. Keep searching forever, start searching now. Grand adventures with Kpro and Cow. The secret, a gypsy's kiss, the whistle pig. Come watch our show, win a prize, little or big. This place never closes, that's for certain. There's always a reason to keep searching. Boots on the ground, look, look, look. Your ticket to the ride is the book. The dream of the treasure is the hook. The dream of the treasure is the hook.
All right, everybody, and we are live. It is still the Kpro Cow Powwow because it is Monday night, but I thought I'd play the Treasure Hunting Amusement Park song instead. So how's everybody doing? AJ, Riddle Mondays. I was not able to check it out once again, but one of these days I'll get in there. Yeah, so me and Kpro took a little break. We had Thursday off, but we're back. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hello to everybody. Can you hear me okay, Kpro?
I can hear you just fine. Can everyone hear me? That's the important thing. I don't think
it sounds low to me, but hopefully everybody else can hear you okay. So, you know, life just gets in the way. We all just want to play in the amusement park forever, but the treasure hunting amusement park, but life just gets in the way. So here we are. And as you guys all know, let me play it.
Am I blurry to you guys?
You are blurry. Yeah. I don't know what you did. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. As you guys know, three, not one, not two, not three, but three of the rides have closed in the treasure hunting amusement park. We know that Mr. Clue got solved, and we knew Mr. Clue was going to get solved because there were only 12 clues.
Yeah.
We know that Mr. Morpheus got solved. That's an interesting one. Congratulations to Brian P. Brian Poppelman's the one who solved that one. Definitely a code breaker, Charlie. And then there was another one that got solved, and you said this was by the girl, a female put out a book, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Is Amy Seeks in here? It was one that Amy Seeks went over on her video. I forgot.
Yeah,
but I know she gave her a shout out and said it's so fun. I'm going to do another one. I forget the name. Was it Sandra? Sorry. Sandra Miller. That's it. Sandra Miller.
Yeah, Sandra Miller. I never looked at it. That's why I don't know what it is, because I never got into it. Never looked at it. And I don't know. Brian P. solved Mr. Morpheus, but I do not know who solved Mr. Clue, and I don't know who solved this one. Hey, we did get a super chat. We survived another tax day. Was tax day last week? Yeah, I think it was. That was the things. Thank you for that super chat. I remind everybody super chat's on and to thumbs up the video. She said Morpheus Trove. What is it? Oh, Morpheus Trove. Yeah. Yeah, a treasure something Trove was the one by the other one.
Yeah, so Mark Connor asks, Kpro, have you seen the new treasure hunt starting August in Michigan? It's called Johnny's Treasure Quest, 1 million of stuff hidden. Well, that's true. And yes, Mike and I have a ticket to that ride. And they have, I mean, we'll give a shout out to them. Yeah, it's in literally like where Mike used to live. So we have purchased a ticket to the third of their hunts. I think they're having overwhelming success. They are working day and night. They're doing contests, other things. They are now in the point of refunds because there was a little hiccup. The thing that I like about them is they are coming out when there's hiccups and they're saying, hey, guys, hold on. This is what we're doing. Here's how we're adjusting. Johnny is going to be on our show. How do you like that? rides. So I have been corresponding with him, and they're just a little overwhelmed right now. I think they want to get some things down, but him and I have been going back and forth. Damien is his administrator, it seems, and he's been doing a good job communicating. So hiccups happen. They're trying to, really communicate well with everyone. And so let's do a shout out to them because, they're small family business. They're trying to do their best. I think the latest hunt is 14,000, and they limited to 500. So
well, let's be clear, none of these have started yet. So
right.
We don't know how the ride is going to be. We have tickets and we're in line. We haven't actually gotten the ride yet. Freddie Richards says, I love rich people giving away stuff in treasure hunts. So I'd say the Johnny Quest is in fact another roller coaster. Whenever you can say there's $1 million worth of anything up for grabs, even if they are dividing it up, I mean, that's pretty huge. So we're in for the Macomb County one. I grew up in Macomb County. I know the area. I have friends back there now, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm very interested to know how they're going to do the clues. So,
yep. And a huge shout out to Amy Seeks. If you've not clicked, she's here in chat, click on her name and subscribe to her channel. She also did a little review of the amusement park that we all know and love. And she's just having a blast. And okay, I have happened to have some very fun times with Amy. She's the type of person, if you're having a good day or bad day, you just want her around you. And actually her videos show where she's just animated and fun. And so go see her channel. She's doing a really good job. So anyway.
Okay. And then Kpro has a treasure hunt. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So my little guy, his name's David, but he goes by Kpro. That's his handle. He got really excited and said, if everybody else is doing a treasure hunt, I want to do a treasure hunt. So Mike's going to put the link in the chat. It's over on the Hint of Riches. I don't know where we're tonight. Okay. You guys are on Hint of Riches. And so he put together, and I helped him to make sure that the code actually was supposed to be the code. This was a 10-year-old, I guess he's 11 now, 11-year-old rendition of Codebreaker Charlie. So it's not going to be a hard code. Mike, if you bring it up for a second, we're going to give out a hint tonight because nobody's cracked it. We've had probably 10 and 15, 20 submissions. I don't know how many, but they've all been incorrect. So here is you guys have the link now. Oh, right there. Just stop it right there.
So anybody that has emailed jsopley@gmail.com, we have gotten your emails. Kpro has looked at the answers and nobody's been right first. Nobody has the correct solution yet, but there could be a big hint tonight. We'll have to see. Yeah. Well, hang on. It is in fact a ride, like it or not. Go ahead, Kpro.
Yeah. So we've already said at the top, you see that, stop it right there. Go back. You see at the top where it you're killing me. Oh my.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. JFK, anybody? Back and to the left. Go ahead.
Hold on. I need a second here. Hold on. Okay. So you guys see a wheel up there? I don't know. I'm too fuzzy to understand. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if that is if you
play the video. Whoever said that, Holly Carnes, once you play the video, we kind of zoom in on everything. I'm just showing you a screenshot. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
48 seconds. So
yeah,
go to the Hint of Riches. This is the name of it, the Treasure Hunting Amusement Park, Kpro's first treasure hunt. And I'm actually putting the link in the chat right now.
Yeah, as long as you can hear me. This is already up. So at the top, you see 3 circles. One is a code wheel. One is a silver coin and this Forrest Fenn coin. And the third is a Forrest Fenn or a Liberty coin. Then there are 5 by 2 underneath. There's 5 objects and 2 rows of 5 objects. We've already put out on the upper, unfortunately, I had dinner and I touched my camera, and that's some oil from my dinner tonight. So I'm sorry, everything's messed up tonight. It's been that kind of day. Okay, so the top 3 pieces, that big wheel, the silver Forrest Fenn coin, and the Liberty coin, tell you how the code that you need, the type of cipher and the code of how many digits and things you need to use. The word is a 5-digit, 5 letters, 1 word. So you see
5
this
5 letters, 1 word. Okay.
Right. So you see this 5 by 2. You can solve them either one. and think what's the silly game he plays that you play too with the boys?
Fortnite. The
Fortnite.
answer might be a word you guys are not familiar with. It has to do with Fortnite.
Hey, we might have world famous gamer in here and he'll know. Okay, so let me be clear. That first row or the second row, each of those are going to be a letter, and the letter is the same whether it's the top row or the bottom row, and it spells out a 5-letter word, one word related to, what was it? Not Minecraft, but
Fortnite.
I'm sorry, I hate video.
Might not be related to the game itself, but it has something to do with Fortnite. Okay.
Yeah. So at the top, those first 3 things tell you how to make the 5-digit word. We zoom in on each of those 10 things. He picked those 10 things. Each of them basically make a letter, and those letters spell out a 5-digit word. So there you go. There you have it. There. And just remember, he's 11. It's not going to be, I could actually break this one.
Hey, right now I know what the 11's for right there. He's 11. That's a clinky dinky. All right. So yes, this is Kpro's first treasure hunt. Some of you may not get the solution. You have the first person to email the correct word to chasehopley@gmail.com. You will in fact win Chase Hopley, the Thrill of the Chase board game. And yeah, I understand the solution. I understand what he was doing here. So it's kind of cool. So think like a child, I guess you could say.
Just keep it simple. But hopefully this breaks it loose, because we thought it was going to be solved within moments. It was not solved within moments. It's actually
I never thought it was going to be solved in moments.
No, and you were right.
That's fine. And then I'm hopefully this weekend I'm going to do another grand adventure, and that one's going to be a little more difficult than the last one, because while the last one was fun, it was solved within 2 hours. This one will be a little bit more difficult, but we'll talk about that when it's out. So yeah, if everybody could go over to the channel you're on once we're done, the Treasure Hunting Amusement Park Kpro's first treasure hunt, just thumbs up the video. That's all.
Yeah. And Holly, you cannot. That was a gift from someone who gave me a golden frog. I've actually had 4 or 5 frogs make their way into my hands since the Forrest Fenn treasure has been found. Not the frog, but other frogs, and people have been super sweet. So no, I have a little frog collection going on. Some of you have asked if I am going to have a command center anytime soon. Oh, I will. You guys should see a command center very soon, and then you're going to see my little wall of treasure back up. So all my
Sheila Draper points out, is this the Treasure Hunting Amusement Park, or is this Forrest Fenn? What's going on? It is, in fact, Forrest Fenn treasure found. Yeah, that's better. That's good, Kpro. So, but of course, we still want to talk about the other rides in the amusement park. So what we're going to do tonight, unless you have something else you want to go over, Kpro.
No.
What we're going to do tonight is start showing you guys the interview that we did with Mr. Forrest Fenn and Mr. Douglas Preston, and just show you the whole thing in parts. We're not going to sit here for 2 hours and show it. But for tonight, we are going to show you the Douglas Preston part that we did. And that was the first interview that we did. This was back in November last year. And it's just interesting to me now that it's found to see some of the things that were said back then. What do you think, Kpro?
Well, and I want to add to that. So some people were frustrated because we jumped around a little bit on the quotes that we thought were the best for the search community. And then when Forrest or Douglas referenced to something else, they're like, we don't understand. And there's a hint there, and you guys didn't pick up the hint because you needed an order, etc. So Mike and I thought, we've had some developments on the documentary part. We thought, why not just put it out from beginning to end? Again, we're not going to do, and it's actually, I think, over 3 hours. We're not going to do it all tonight, but we're going to show the first, I think, 20, 25 minutes tonight. You're going to see some things you've seen before. You're going to see some things you haven't seen before. You're going to see me and Forrest probably joke around a little bit. And I think it's just going to be, I think it'll make everyone realize a lot of the things that were said were just something for a documentary to get people up to speed. But wouldn't it be fun to go through some, I think it was the last full interview of the Forrest Fenn hunt before it was found. And there are a couple things that we hadn't shown that I'll ask Mike to stop and we'll comment to. But lots and lots of people wanted this. And so I think, why not? You know, we're at the point of the documentary's taken a turn, and we're only going to use a couple of things from this interview because we have a new way the project is going. So there you go. So there's no more doc. No, the opposite of that. Forrest Fenn Aftermath. There is going to be a documentary, or there is a new way the documentary is going. So it is allowed for a lot more of these clips or questions. They're kind of moot at this point. So I think this will be a fun way for us to get through. So this is going to take us, we're going to probably do about 30 minutes for each one. So it's going to take us a couple of shows to get through everything. But the big thing is, when you guys think, like, if we cut out someone breathing, you're like, oh, that was a hint. Okay, you're going to see the breathing. You're going to see maybe a couple hiccups and things. So this is truly behind the scenes. So I know of about 3 or 4 documentaries that are still going on. I have talked to probably at least 10 documentarians. Nobody is doing this. So we hope you appreciate it. We hope you guys see it. But just know this was last November. This is not something in the last week or two, post find, any of that. This is from last November. So I do not believe there are any hints or clues in any of this. But you guys need to interpret on your own. You and you.
Yeah, you make the call. That's why we're showing it. You guys can. And
yes.
People are very opinionated about it, that's for sure. But that's okay. And then breaking news. Oh, we got a super chat. Fergus T. Long Anchor, the best YouTube name, maybe next to Mr. Clue. Appreciate you guys sharing the content. Thank you. We appreciate the super chat. Breaking news, once we're done showing the Douglas Preston clip tonight, Chasing Indy has a little puzzle, a little riddle she's done on her channel, and she sent me a super secret hint. And as we always do, we're going to share that super secret hint with everybody. So at the end of the show, we will show Chasing Indy's hint. And I think it's cool. Her riddle has to do with Harry Potter. So she put that out already in a video.
Oh, super secret hint. See, we get them left and right. And I talked to Johnny, and we listened to Randy, and we don't know it all, but we know it all. We're going to pretend that we know it all. Oh, Joel Lewicki's in the house. He'll be able to tell us.
Okay, guys, this is about 26 minutes long or so. Like I said, we're showing it. This is the Douglas Preston portion. So make some coffee. You should already have it. You should already have a snack. You should be ready to go.
I'm going to go get something to fix my camera, so I'm going to be back and forth for a second, but yeah.
And I'll probably go make some coffee, because that's what I do. Here we go, everybody. Breaking news. Even if it's old news, it's still breaking when it's new, right? All right, here we go.
And I'm going to go on mute.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are, Kristen.
Okay. So let me start out with some questions related to you and Forrest.
Yes.
So how did you meet Forrest?
Well, that's a good question. I can't really remember how I met Forrest. It was about 30 years ago. Forrest, do you remember how I met you?
I think through my camera.
Yeah, it was through a mutual friend. At any rate, I had just moved to Santa Fe. I was a struggling young writer. I didn't know hardly anybody in town. And all of a sudden, one of the most famous people in Santa Fe invited me to lunch. And I sat at this table with John Ehrlichman, and was it Ehrlichman? Anyway, I sat at this table with all these famous people, and I thought, what the heck am I doing here? I'm really out of place. I'm not in the same league with these guys. But I found Forrest to be right away one of the most interesting people I'd ever met in my life. He was so, and also I think we think alike. You know, he loves life. He's an adventurer. He's someone who has a tremendous vitality for living. And I felt that that's the way I'd like to be. I admired him for that. So we became good friends, even though there's a great difference in age and background and everything else. We just became good friends.
Nice. When did you first discuss the chase with Forrest? And I call the chase the treasure hunt. That's kind of our slang term for it. So the chase is, this treasure hunt.
Well, it was sometime in the early 90s, and Forrest invited me to his house, and he said he wanted to show me something. So he took me into his vault, which is a very special place, hidden in his house. It's a walk-in vault with this great steel door, and you go in. And inside this vault was a chest, beautiful Renaissance chased metal chest. And he opened it up, And inside it was just heaped, just like a pirate treasure, with gold pieces and giant gold nuggets and gemstones and all kinds of incredibly valuable things. And then he explained to me that he had a plan, that he was going to the word is not buried. He was going to hide this chest with his own body, and he was going to issue a challenge to the world that whoever found his tomb could rob it and keep the treasure.
Okay, so what was the timeline? So you said the early 90s, and then how did things progress from there? And then ultimately we now are in almost the 10th year of the chase.
Well, at the time, Forrest had a very serious diagnosis of cancer, and he was concerned that he might die. And rather than suffer a long, lingering death and put his family through that, his idea was that he would secrete himself in this place with the treasure and then take a bunch of pills and, die right there. At least that's what I believe he told me. Is that right, Forrest?
I'm talking.
I feel a little, I don't want to go
That
too
was the
far here,
original
but
plan though, yeah.
But yeah, so his plan was to basically hide himself and his treasure and his body and issue a challenge to the world that whoever found his tomb could rob it, which was the most interesting idea. And it was such an interesting idea, but of course it was upsetting too to think of Forrest with this really serious diagnosis of cancer, which most people don't survive. But Forrest survived, and the cancer went into remission, and that was it. It went into remission permanently. And that was, 30 years ago. So the treasure remained in his vault, and I know he often would show it to me, and he'd take things out and put other things in. I remember he had some $1,000 bills in there that he had in there for a while, but then he took them out because he said, well, the treasure, they might rot and disappear. I think he had some kind of bearer bond or something, or some piece of paper to a bank account, so that the person who found the treasure could take this piece of paper to a bank and collect $100,000. And that was a way for him to know that the treasure had been found. But he took that out because he said, well, maybe the bank won't exist by the time the treasure is found. And then he wrote this poem, and he showed me some of the early drafts of the poem. Now, people have asked me, what were those early drafts? And I'm not talking. But I said to Forrest, look, there are a lot of smart people out there, and this poem better be really, really clever, because it'd be a shame if you hid this treasure and then a week later somebody found it, figured out the poem. And Forrest said to me, trust me, it's going to take them 900 years to decipher the poem. And I said, that's good. That's good. You don't want to have this treasure hunt over with in a week. 900 years, that's a much better time frame. So
how many previous versions? So how many previous versions did you see of the poem?
I don't know, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So the poem is a remarkable poem. It's really a good poem. It's wonderful. There are 9 clues in it. And Forrest has said, if you follow those clues one after the other, it will take you right to the treasure. And of course, I am sure that it's an extremely clever poem. But I do not know where the treasure is. I swear, I have no idea.
So you wrote the foreword in Once Upon a While, and you indicated that you think there might be hints in that book. What makes you say that?
Well, there are hints in Forrest's life. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that if you can figure out where Forrest went every day of his life, at some point, I know Forrest discovered this hiding place a long time ago. And I believe he'd been thinking about it for a long time. So naturally, if you delve into his life, his history, where he went, his favorite places, one of those places has got to be where that treasure is hidden. So looking into Forrest's life is an important thing. So, you know, it's really important if you're a serious treasure hunter to buy all of Forrest's books and read them. That's absolutely necessary, because you're never gonna, I don't think you'll ever find it without other subtle clues in those books.
So how is the Codex inspired? I read the Codex, and you have some other Riptide, some other books as well. Were those inspired by the chase, or did the chase inspire those, or what did that look like?
Well, I've always been interested in buried treasure ever since I was a kid. And I spent my summers in Maine. And on our shore in Maine, a pirate carved his initials allegedly onto a rock, RK 1743. So I grew up looking at those initials on the rock, and allegedly this pirate buried a treasure on a place called Brown's Head. So as kids, we used to go out there with metal detectors and go all over the place. It's very wild country up there at the time. Now it's been settled with people, but back then it was totally wild, looking for this treasure. So I've always been interested in treasure. So Riptide is based on that main treasure. But the Thrill of the Chase treasure it's just well, what happened was I had lunch with Forrest a long time ago, and we were talking about the treasure. And I went to school with a woman who ended up being a very famous Hollywood producer, Linda Obst. And she produced movies such as Contact and Flashdance and The Fisher King and so forth. Really terrific, top Hollywood producer. And every few years, she used to call me up and say, "You got any ideas for me?" And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I'm getting called by a famous Hollywood producer with ideas, and I don't have any. So I'd say, "Oh, Linda, I don't have any ideas for you." Well, right after I'd had lunch with Forrest, she called me up and said, "Do you have any ideas?" And I said, "Yes, I've got this idea about a man who takes it with him." And she said, "Oh, I love it. Tell me more." And I said, "Okay, he's a man who is very wealthy. He's an art collector, and they always say you can't take it with you." Well, he says, "The hell with that. I am going to take it with me, and I'm going to issue a challenge to the world that whoever finds my tomb can keep the stuff. That's what I'm going to do with my collection of beautiful art and antiques and gold and everything else." So she loved that, and she said, "Well, I'd like to do a movie about that." So I went to Forrest and I said, "Forrest, I think I've sold your idea to a famous Hollywood producer, and so I wanted to talk to you about how we're going to, if first of all, if it's okay with you, and secondly, if it is okay, how we're going to divide up all the money." And Forrest said, no, I won't take any money, not a dime. It's all yours." I said, "Forrest, that's not fair. This is your idea. You should participate in it." And he absolutely refused to take any money. He said, "The only thing I require is you have to invite me to the Academy Awards." And I said, "Done." So I wrote up a treatment for the movie. She bought it. Not a lot of money. It was an option. And then they renewed the option, but then as so many times in Hollywood, things don't work out, and the option expired, and they never made the film. But I still think it'd be a damn good movie. Now, if there are any Hollywood producers out there, what happened was, after I wrote this treatment, I thought, boy, this is a really great idea for a novel. So I wrote a novel called The Codex, which is about this very wealthy Santa Fe collector and who takes it with him. Now, this person is not based on Forrest Fenn. My character was kind of an unpleasant guy. Forrest is anything but unpleasant. It's a completely different character because instead of challenging the world to find his body, he actually challenges just his three sons, who he considers to be losers and entitled, and they've grown up in wealth, and he worked his way up from nothing, and he doesn't want to leave his money to his kids because they're just a bunch of losers. So if they want their inheritance, they're going to have to earn it. And the way they're going to earn it is by finding his tomb and recovering their inheritance that way. So as I was going to say, if there are any Hollywood producers out there who are looking for a great idea, the Codex, the movie rights are available. So give my agent a call at WME.
Very nice. So what is your role in the chase now?
I don't know, talking to people like you. Actually, my role in the chase is just having fun vicariously, having vicarious fun watching the action, all the excitement. I mean, it's really, I can't believe how it's exploded. I had absolutely no idea when this thing started that it become so big. And so it's been fun for me. I don't have to deal with all the crazies the way Forrest does. You know, he's had to call the police a number of times. He's had to call 911. At one point, I think he and his daughter had to hold some crazy guy at gunpoint who broken into their house. And, you know, so I get to enjoy the chase without the negative aspects of it.
What do you know about the chase that others do not?
Oh, I know all kinds of things. No, just kidding, just kidding. Forrest has been very careful not to tell me anything, and I don't ask. I am, I don't look, I have not looked for the treasure. I did look once because I had a friend, Elizabeth Sebastian, who owns a ranch way up in along the Guyana River, and she's 83 years old, and she was sure that the treasure was buried on her land, but she couldn't get to that place. And she asked me as a favor to go there. So I went there, and there was nothing there. And she was very disappointed, but that's how it works.
Why do you think the treasure chest has not been found as we go into year 10?
Because I think the poem is extremely clever. And I think that I think Forrest was right when he said it was going to take 900 years. I think it's going to take 900 years.
Which blogs or social media do you follow related to the chase?
Well, I look at some of those blogs that there are a couple of blogs devoted to it that I once in a while look up. And I have some friends who are deeply involved in the whole thing, who talk to and hear their theories and so forth. I've heard so many theories, I can't keep them straight. The House of Brown, is that brown trout? Is it, you know, somebody named Brown? Is it, you know, I mean, there's just so many theories.
So the community of searchers have come and coined a phrase, the lead searcher. Do you believe there is a lead searcher out there right now that is on the cusp of finding the treasure?
No, I don't.
And why?
Because I just haven't heard of a convincing analysis of that poem that clicks and makes me think, aha, they've got it. Now, I've had many people who've shared with me their ideas, many people who were absolutely convinced. There's one fellow that I've been emailing who's a homicide detective in Concord, Massachusetts, I think. Interesting guy, nice guy, and he's really worked hard at it. And he says, I know I found it, I know I've got it, I know I did, I know where it is. And I said, look, you should just go there. Just get on a plane and go there and see if it's there. But he hasn't done that yet. But I have no idea. He hasn't told me his interpretation, so I don't know. There's no way for me to evaluate it. But
okay, so now you've had in the foreword of Once Upon a While, and famously quoted another time with two different locations of this famous parking lot, what we call the 10th clue. So what is it about the Northern Arizona University parking lot and the Denver Museum of Natural Sciences parking lot? What's similar between them that we should be looking at, our searchers should be looking at to discover the 10th clue?
well, this is a mystery because you're going to have to ask Forrest this one. Now, it might be my faulty memory. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that 25 years ago, Forrest told me that they were going to find his car in the parking lot of the Museum of Northern Arizona. I think he told me that. Now, I mentioned that a couple of times, and then Forrest very much more recently said to me, no, that's wrong. The car would have been in the parking lot of the Denver Museum of Natural History. Okay, so you're gonna have to ask him about that. I don't know, I may be misremembering or whatever, so.
Has anything surprised you about this treasure hunt?
Well, the interest has generated has surprised me. The number of crazy people has surprised me. I mean, I think that the hunt is overwhelmingly a good thing. I think it's 500,000 people who've gone out there into the wilderness, have their fathers bringing their sons out there with them, their families exploring. I mean, these are all wonderful things. Now, so I think it's also been a great boon to the economy of Santa Fe, because a lot of these people come through Santa Fe. So that's wonderful too. So I think it's been a really positive thing. But what surprised me most was that there were some crazy people also involved in this. I mean, Forrest has said many times that he hid the treasure when he was 80 years old, and he took 2 trips in order to carry the heaviness of the gold. So that this treasure is not in an extremely dangerous or inaccessible location. And yet these crazy people have gone down the Taos box, and they've climbed down cliffs, and they've done these things and have ended up losing their lives through poor judgment. I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm just saying that, you know, when you go out into the wilderness, you have to have a certain level of judgment. It's just like when you go swimming in a lake, you have to know how to swim. It's not a good idea to go swimming in a lake if you haven't learned how to swim. So people who go out into the wilderness should have a minimal understanding of what they're doing.
What do you anticipate will happen after Forrest passes to the chase?
Well, I think it'll continue. And secretly, I hope it will continue for the 900 years that Forrest said it would continue. That's my wish. That 900 years from now, somebody is going to finally figure out that poem and find the treasure, and it's going to be on the front page of the New York Times or whatever newspaper is the New York Times in 900 years. It's going to be fabulous news, and it's going to be an amazing event 900 years from now.
Do you know that one item that no one knows is in the treasure chest?
No, I don't.
Okay, and what's next for you?
Well, let's see, what's next for me? Well, I'm writing, well, I don't know. I'm working on a novel with my writing partner, Link. And it involves, well, let me start over again. I'm just starting a novel with my writing partner, Link, that takes place in the, around the White Sands Missile Range, where there is a treasure, supposedly, called the Victorio Peak treasure. It's a very famous treasure, and one that has been searched for by many people. But it's on the White Sands Missile Range, so the Army has shut down all treasure hunting in that area because it's, you know, it's a bombing range where they test weapons and secret weapons and things like that. So it's a very interesting story.
Is there anything you would like, this last question, is there anything you would like to say to searchers in this chase?
I'd say enjoy yourselves, have fun, don't take it too seriously, and it's a process. Enjoy the process and don't worry too much about the goal, which is finding the treasure. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the chase.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you very much. So we had a few questions for you, and then at the end, if we could have you both answer maybe a question or two. Is that okay for us?
Well, he's the star of this show. Ask him some more.
We'll get a couple shots just to
You know what?
talking.
Okay,
No,
Just
nobody,
keep being her.
okay.
nobody wants to hear from me.
Yeah.
When Forrest is sitting right next to me, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Here's the man.
Let me say something. You're talking about adventurers. The National Geographic magazine sent this guy to Egypt to peek into somebody's tomb. What was that?
the tomb of Ramses, the 50 sons of Ramses.
He was the
the
second
Great.
human being to look in that tomb.
Well, I'll tell you, I looked through different pictures and things, and I saw a picture of you standing on a horse as it was going, and I thought, there is the adventurous spirit that you both talk about. I just thought, what a rascal, you are having a blast just being you, and I thought of Forrest, probably as he's in his special spot, or he's at his fishing hole or somewhere. So I saw a lot of similarities as I was looking at pictures through TTOTC and then ones of you. And so I thought, okay, I see the combination, I see the bond, I see the reason for the bond. So life is an adventure. So yeah. So are we good, Alan, to transition?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
you just wanted a couple shots of us talking. So, okay, are we leaving Forrest where he's at, or do you want to move, or what? How do you want that?
Are you fine being there? Do you want to do it there? Or do you?
Are you good sitting right where you're at?
I'm okay.
You're
Okay.
the.
Yeah, so it'll be a different shot. I kind of like that idea.
Yes, I do like that
Yeah.
idea. So I wanted to work.
I like the skull.
Okay.
That's something.
So let's, I'll come get your mic in 1 second. You just stay right
Yeah,
there.
we're gonna put a mic on you, Forrest. And so when
Here's
he,
this
when
stuff. I don't,
Mr. Preston
No, you're good,
referred to
you're
you, you're gonna answer all of those questions, correct?
Mr. Preston, that's his father's name.
I was-
I never heard him call him Mr.
Doug.
Preston.
Okay, when Doug deferred to you, those questions, you're able to answer all of those today, right?
Are we rolling still?
no, we are actually not. No,
Tell me when we start rolling.
I will. Yes.
I've got a bunch of treasures here. Some of them Forrest gave to me.
Forrest
Oh,
was
wow.
doing some of those with us earlier, and
You're
wow.
right.
I think we should film him talking about those too.
Move the chair, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move wherever you need.
I've got a prehistoric mammal tooth there that I've yet to
Yeah, this
identify.
Right?
And then there's a cave bear tooth right there.
Yeah.
Cynthia,
Isn't that one?
could you turn the microphone toward Forrest right there on the table? Just turn it toward him.
Dire wolf is what
A
that is.
dire wolf.
Dire
And I'm
wolf.
gonna go on
I
you.
have to remember
Good
that.
job, honey. Good job.
Dire wolf.
But even so, you're looking at
This-
Wait, which side? Which side?
This fossil
Oh, shit.
comes from the Valley of the Kings.
Is that
of Egypt.
what you wanted? Like,
Go.
is that-
Yes, thank you, yes. That is some neat stuff.
that is neat.
Have you ever thought of doing your own treasure hunt? Hiding your own box somewhere?
I don't know. After seeing what Forrest has gone through, I think I have second thoughts
Right, right.
about the crazy people.
Yeah.
But
Okay, and that really is the end.
No, you are fine.
do you want to take this?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off. You can go ahead and take it off if you want.
So basically, we got ready for Forrest Fenn to do his part of the interview. And I'll just say real quick, so we decided we show it the way we filmed it. But you guys may notice something. Douglas wasn't looking at the camera. Douglas was looking that way. And that's because what we just showed is I was there with our camera on a tripod. Alan was actually filming him, the documentarian was actually filming him with a different camera, and Kpro was next to that camera. So what you just saw was kind of a behind the scenes of what we actually filmed. And that's why Alan comes in and out. And when I zoomed over, that's me. So if the camera's a little shaky or anything, that's me on the camera. So I just want to make sure
And
that's
Forrest
clear.
was aware of both tripods. So, and when he said, are you rolling? That was the official footage for the documentary,
Right.
because that has a higher resolution, and he wanted to make sure it was just so. So he was aware that we actually had backups to make sure, just from an audio standpoint.
Right.
But some of you asked, was that Peggy? That was Cynthia Meacham in the room. And so that was Alan. Alan's our documentarian. He's the one that's all official and had all the high end everything. And then that was Mike's voice. The female voice was mine. And then Douglas and Forrest. So there were 6 of us in the room. That was
Chi or Cece asks, where did this interview take place, Kpro?
It was in Douglas Preston's office in Santa Fe, somewhere in the downtown. I don't know exactly where it was, but it's his office. And you're going to see at the end, we go over lots of items in that table. He had lots of tributes to Forrest. And look at those antler. It was awesome.
Cool.
So he had his office in the back, his actual personal office, but this was his lobby area, I guess. I don't know what I'd call it. But so many people were saying, oh, Forrest drinks a lot. Look at all that wine. That's Douglas wine. And we didn't get a
was
drink.
staged. That is just Douglas Preston's office.
Yeah.
Showed up and did it.
Yeah.
I will say we did not know at the time of this filming that the treasure was going to be found 7 months later. I want to say to the day. Was it November 6th that we filmed this? November 4th, maybe.
Right around there.
Somewhere
right
around. But it was
Yeah.
just about 7 months later. It was November 4th. It was Monday, November 4th.
Yeah.
That we were there and filmed it, and 7 months later, the treasure was found. It's just interesting to hear. And you guys will see the Forrest Fenn portion next Monday, unless we decide to go earlier before then, which with us is always a possibility. So we're not just going to show 2 hours of Forrest. We'll do maybe 20 minutes, but it won't be clipped. It won't be edited. I mean, we're going to show you.
Yeah. Well, and somebody said there was a hiccup in the middle there. There wasn't a
Yeah,
hiccup
there's no
that
hiccup.
no, this was entire way through. Maybe it was internet or whatever you can. So we did no editing from beginning to end. You saw that would be what we, for the documentary, we would actually cut out the ums and the hus and the, breathing and all that. So, yeah, so you guys, thank you for lots of people said thank you. It actually brought back some memories. Those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you behind the scenes. I was not supposed to be the interviewer. There's a backstory to that I'm not giving out yet. But about 24 hours, maybe 48 hours beforehand, I was told I would be the actual interviewer. I have no schooling or background in that. So I called Toby Eunice. I sat down with Toby Eunice because he was in the area, and I started going over what happens. And you're going to see this in the Forrest Fenn interview. When somebody says no comment, no comment, no comment, like to 3 questions, you go to a different line of questioning. There's a real science behind this. And so I was so nervous, even though like I knew Forrest. I think I met Douglas maybe once. I don't remember if maybe not. But I felt there was just so many butterflies. So this was kind of fun because it brought back some memories. And yeah, as Mike goes, good job, babe, because he knows I was like,
she was nervous. She was very nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would have been nervous too if I was actually asking the questions. I'm glad I got to ask Douglas, would he do his own? I like his answer. It's funny, he says, 900 years. I hope it goes 900 years. Well, it went 10, and 10 years is pretty good. 10 years is pretty darn good for the roller coaster to be on, and we all rode it in the treasure hunting amusement park. So thank you to Forrest for the thrill of the chase. I know a lot of people. Go ahead.
I just didn't think. I think we're the last full interview before the treasure hunt or the treasure was done.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, there was Artie that Cynthia got, but that was not related to the treasure hunt. So it's just interesting to me. And there's a couple things that he says, like, well, you'll see when the Forrest one comes up. Like I asked, what happens after you pass? He's like, if it's not found. And it was like, I didn't notice those little things until after. So we're going to be able to dive in. If you guys have questions, put them in the comment section because we'll answer them on the next show. When you guys, I'm sure this is going to be watched back once or twice. So again, like Mike said, this is Douglas's portion. Then we turn and we have a Forrest portion, and then we have a Douglas and Forrest portion. So there's 3 portions to this interview.
And we'll get through it in the upcoming shows. We'll show you guys all of it. And yeah, there it is. Maybe that'll put to rest some of the speculation out there about things. I just look at it as when Forrest says, I never told anybody anything that would get him closer to the treasure chest. You either believe him or you don't. So, and when he says that, I think that includes interviews is the way I take it, but yeah, you guys can decide for yourself. That's why we're showing it.
Yeah. And, low key, we don't know yet with the documentary that I'm working with. It's taking some different directions. We started this pre-find. This has gone very different than post-find. Yeah. And the dark side of things, we actually had some interviews lined up on some of the challenges that were happening in the chase. There's a whole different set of challenges now. We're really having to do a reset. So that's why we think the things that we're getting together now, I will say the project that as it takes its different turns and things, we're not going to reference to until it's finally out. So this is the interview. Everybody knows this is where it started, but again, it's taking different directions. Different people have reached out. We're having different discussions than we ever thought we would have. So
It has changed everything. When the
Documentary.
treasure came out. It changed-
Documentarian. I know. I get
Documentary.
it.
Right. Sibyllus. It changed everything when the treasure chest was found. We didn't
Right.
know 7 months later it'd be found. Maybe we'd have some different questions if we had any idea. I mean, people used to ask us, what do you think is going to be found this year? I bet you. I made a bet with somebody and never would have thought it was going to be found, but somebody found it. Somebody put it together. Somebody found it. As always, whenever any of that news comes out, we will go live to give you guys the info. And we're waiting along with everybody else. But there's some legal things, I believe, that need to be taken care of. That's just a guess on my part. But maybe we'll hear something since then. I do
well,
like.
Go ahead. I was just going to give a short update. A lot of you thought that there was some conspiracy around Dale's site going down. And even someone that I know and love, and he's one of our moderators. Let's see if he comes in tonight. He's like, no, it's being archived and this is happening. I'm like, I've talked to Dale. It's just down for, so Dale, I think I've already told you guys this. Dale did a regular maintenance issue or maintenance update. And then it went down for a couple of days because of some failures and issues that they had.
Is it back up?
It's back up and it's open for comments. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. Everybody was conspiracy. Let's talk about it. And Copper Dan, I love you, but Copper Dan's like, no, it's being archived. I'm like, no. And then he messaged me afterwards. And he's like, sorry, I thought it was because of however it was looking on the internet. I don't know why. But so sometimes Occam's razor, sometimes it's just the simplest thing, like it was just maintenance. Now, I do have to say, do we want to end with controversy? Because I'm up for controversy.
Well, he says, Kpro Cowlazars says the finder reached out to you. About 25 different finders have reached out to us. That's right. About 25 different people are saying they have it. They're looking at it. They can't give us any proof. They can't send a picture. But, so if that answers your question, all kinds of people. Has the actual finder reached out? That has not been verified. Nobody has been verified to my satisfaction that they are the finder.
Well, and I did low-key ask, has anyone bought into the August 4th step? I talked to Dale. I've gone back and forth with Dale. So I've had several people give me, I'm going to release something on this date out of those 25. That's all it is people that don't have any proof that they have the treasure chest saying they're going to come out with something.
Well, it's August 4th. I haven't heard of that.
So Dale on Expedition Unknown, Josh Gates asked him something like, Dale has actually had 3 different people reach out with 3 different dates saying, just you wait, because it's one of the 30 that say they have the treasure chest. I don't believe there's 30 treasure chests. So one of them might not be telling the truth. I just believe it's just a random person. And he said that. Now, Expedition Unknown clipped it in a way, because that's why we're showing you everything rather than the clips. Everybody's all excited about August 4th. There's no there. It didn't come from Forrest. It came from a random person. You see how many random people we have. I just think
dogs just don't hunt, as they say.
That dog don't hunt. Yeah. So there you go. So does the community deserve to know the solve and or the location? In my opinion, if the finder wants to put it out, and right now, I wouldn't. There's Crazyville at a whole different level of Crazyville out. I do think that a lot more should come out. I think Forrest is going to put more out. That's just my opinion. I talked to him the day of the solve that came, or the announcement came out. And he said, I'm going to put the state out. I'm going to put more information out. I wish I would have asked more stuff at that time. But I didn't. And I think it's a process right now. And if I was the finder, stay quiet, stay anonymous, stay away. There's just too many vultures out for you now.
Indy asks, will you be doing a marathon anytime soon?
No.
Man, we haven't really talked about it, so no, probably not. And what would we do a marathon on? I mean, we could have a bunch of roosters come on and say, I found it, which there's no evidence. We could have a bunch of people who are a little more reasonable say, I didn't find it, but this is where I think it was. But is that really a show you guys want to watch for 10 or 11 hours?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm waiting for more info, and then it's kind of like, let's move on to the next treasure hunts, but that's just me.
Well, so the one controversy I will say, because I've had my own suspicions. Everybody thinks that I'm just here and Forrest, whatever he says, I repeat. And no, I had my own before the pictures came out of the actual treasure chest. I'm like, it might still be out there. I know what Health Force has gone through, and I don't know all of it. I just know some of it. And we've had the same person. Well, we've had issues. And I just saw a small glimpse of what he did. I thought maybe with his family or whatever. Then I saw the pictures and I thought, oh, maybe not. But then what solidified it for me, and now this has changed, is Dale went out on the flip side. And Dale said it was 8 a.m. on that Saturday. And I got an email from Forrest that said, I'm going to announce the treasure's been found. I'm going to get a statement together and I'll email you sometime tonight. And he said he went out and he did a few things and he came back. And that's Forrest at about 8 o'clock out the statement to all of us, but he knew all day long. That solidified it for me. If he knew all day, this was a lot more step through or systematic or purposeful than I realized. Dale put out on blog he was mistaken and he didn't ever announce it that 8 a.m. That now makes me go pause again. So I'm waiting to hear. So that's my
conspiracy theory. Yeah, what's going on here?
Well, how can you? I appreciate where Dale's coming from because so much stuff happens. But how did you misspeak that you had the announcement 12 hours before everybody else did? You're saying that you didn't mean that now, and it was something else. Go up on Dale's blog. I have it screen captured. He explains why he made that mistake. That's a huge mistake to make. I understand people make mistakes. I've always seen Dale as a good person. I see Forrest as a good person. That one's a hard pill to swallow.
Dale did explain it?
He did on his blog.
I have live audio.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Dale. Just kidding. Just having some fun. I really don't. I didn't watch the flip side, so I didn't even know what you're talking about until you mentioned it after. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I don't even know what's.
I didn't watch all of it. They're like, Dale knew 12 hours beforehand. And I'm like, if Dale knew 12 hours beforehand, then this was a plan. This was how Forrest wanted it ended. Now I am waiting. All I'm saying is, so for all of you that think I'm just the sheep following, I'm waiting right along with you. I have some questions. I have not asked Dale after he put this out yesterday. I have not asked Dale for some follow-up, and he usually has really good explanation. He seems like a good guy to me, but this one's hard for me. So I'm waiting like the rest of you to hear something, because right now, that dog don't hunt right now.
So Tina Pantoli had a comment earlier. She said something's off. She's talking about the finder. One slip, one misplaced word, and like the word would get out. But I can tell you, if I found it and I didn't tell Kpro, there's nobody else in my circle of friends or family who care about the treasure chest. There's nobody who would be like, if I said something that sounded like I found it, they'd be like, no, you didn't. One, they wouldn't believe it. And two, even if I told them I found it, they're not going to be like, I got to go to YouTube. They're just not interested in it. So I don't buy that whoever found it, their family or friends would have said something, because it could be just a person whose family and friends, they never believed it was out there. The person who found it's not talking about it, that he found it, and people go on with their lives. I think anyway.
I have two things to say. If it was a shy guy, you are kind of the example of a shy guy. You would have not told me, your mom. You're like,
you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know I wouldn't tell you. You blurb it out on live when our next show, but a lot of people question, it would have gotten out by now. I don't know. I think there's a lot of, I hate to say, there's a lot of men that can keep secrets and not have to tell anyone else and work through it in the first month. If a woman found it, probably not. Sorry to say, I think we are a little bit more village. But so I don't see that as hard pressed, because I could see someone like Mike just being like, I couldn't tell you the first month. I was working through it with Forrest. Forrest knows. Someone else does know. It's Forrest.
If I found it, I would be obligated to let everybody know, just because of the YouTube videos I made in the past history of the last 3 years. That's just me. I would let everybody know, and I'd go through the legal problems and the IRS and everything else.
You would have been public?
I would not be able. Yeah, I would. Personally, I would.
Dear Lord,
I mean, I would consult with you, but I feel like I would have to. Now, the person who
No, but you could do it anonymously.
Yeah, that's true. I could work it out with Forrest to do it anonymously, to get it released but stay anonymous. That's true. That's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
Well, Redneck says, I think Dale had to retract an accidental leak of detail. It's all good. Doesn't really change anything. Redneck, it doesn't change anything for you. There are some specific reasons that put that baby to bed, and now the baby is out of bed. There's a lot of details that individuals have that then coalesce to those being really important details. When that was the one that solidified it and now it's been retracted, I'm not saying that anybody's lying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, just like if the pictures that came out, that put a lot of babies to bed for a lot of people. Well, what if it came out later that it wasn't the pictures? I think they are. That's just an example. I'm just saying.
Well, Randy points out, what if it's somebody that just had the book and the poem and they don't get on the internet? They just solved it and they went and got it. It's like, could be somebody that doesn't even watch the YouTube videos or the forums. They don't know what Thor is. They don't know what they don't know what the YouTube, and it's just, they quietly solved it and they're not interested in all this other stuff. I think that's unlikely that they don't know, have never watched any of the videos or the forums or anything, but at least Dale's
it could be.
If you're interested to thrill the chase, wouldn't you be on Dale's blog?
Well, I think I said, so I gave my first interview to a reporter day before yesterday, and they asked me, do you think it's somebody known on the blogs? And here was my answer. It was a total guess, and I gave that caveat. I think it's probably somebody that may have been on the blogs, even registered, maybe something here or there, but not known. It's not like a Cowlazars or a Cynthia Meacham or Dale. I think it might be somebody who's a little more shy, a little bit more maybe watching now, but wouldn't be somebody that always had their name out there, if I were to guess.
Yeah, so all we can do is wait on the old Forrest Fenn treasure found, wait on Forrest, or wait on the finder. That's kind of where we're at. We're showing you the interview that we back in November. We will show you all of that. So you guys subscribe and stay tuned. Thursday we're going to do Vegas Die, which is this book. This is an upcoming treasure hunt here in Las Vegas, which I plan on finding. This is the original treasure hunt from 12 years ago. I have 2 of these books left if anybody wants to buy it, because what the author's doing is putting this book back out, but he's changing the clues from 12 years ago till now. So if you have both books, you can compare and see what he changed. 2 books is all I got left. Just email me, cowlazars@gmail.com. But Thursday, I want to start going over the book. A lot of people have ordered the book from us. They've had time to get them in the mail. The first thing I want to go over Thursday are the playing card suits. At the end of every chapter, there were these playing card suits. And this is, in fact, a cipher that does, in fact, give a message. So we'll talk about that on Thursday's show. When we're going to do the Forrest Fenn clip, maybe next Monday, maybe before then, maybe over the weekend. That's why you got to be subscribed. That's why you got to hit that little bell. Because when Kpro says go live, I drop what I'm doing and we go live. And that's how it works.
Well, and if you guys, I want to be clear, we're not putting out the entire Forrest Fenn one because we're not going to sit here for 2 hours. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it is long. So we're going to
be broken up. Right.
Yeah. We'll stop at a certain point, and that's exactly where we will pick up at the next point. So, but yeah, I mean, I do have to say it's kind of fun because you guys are living through what we lived through. Afterwards, I think it was me, Mike, and Cynthia sat and just chit chatted about, oh my gosh, all that, what do we see as searchers? And then it was funny because Alan was there and we got to talk about what's going to be really good for the documentary. Anyway, Mike laughed. What are you reading?
Something in the chat. Okay. What's up, William? Okay. So we do have breaking news because, as we know, the treasure hunting amusement park is still open, even though we've had a couple rides that have shut down. And one of them is Chasing Indy. You know her. You love her. She's popular. Chasing Indy on YouTube. She has a little riddle. I'd call this a riddle more than a treasure hunt. Says solve this and win. The channel is Chasing Indy. Why is there only 855 subscribers? Go subscribe. Go hit the bell. Hidden within this riddle are 3 clues that will help give you the answer. First person to email me the 3 clues and what they mean and give me the correct answer will win. I don't know, Candy, if you have said what the treasure is, other than that one little trinket that you said that Forrest Fenn gave to you. So that's pretty awesome by itself. If you guys want to own something that came from Forrest Fenn's collection, But while we were live in chasing Indy, Candy sent me a hint, and if I can find what I did with it, we're going to go over the hint right now. Give me a second. I saved it. I put it in a Word doc, and I saved it. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, this is what she sent. One, we know that her riddle is Harry Potter based, I guess would be a proper way to put it. I know I'm.
Are we supposed to be able to see that? Read that?
Yeah. Let me make it bigger. Give me a second. Actually, I'm not going to be able to make it bigger in the Zoom. There we go. Zoom in. Or maybe I'll just read it for everybody.
Randy sees trying. You're done. Yes, that's all he does.
That's
Randy,
right, Randy.
If Mike doesn't find your treasure, I'm going to be shocked. He's like fixated.
Randy, we need to know which one is. We need to know what the red herring is, for God's sake. Actually, I'll talk about that too. I'll talk about that. The two accomplishments or the two achievements we did make for the Beacon Star. Okay, the newest riddle hint direct from Chasing Indy herself. The answer to life minus 10, mirror it back and find a friend. And then this B looks like a quote from one of the Harry Potter books. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys can watch this back and pause it. To me, it looks like a quote from one of the books, and maybe she's telling us which book actually holds the answer. I see get up vermin. Unknown hands dragged Harry roughly off the ground. Before he could stop them, someone had rummaged through his pockets and removed the blackthorn wand. So again, the newest riddle hint for Chasing Indy's riddle. The answer to life minus 10, mirror it back and find a friend. So thank you, Candy, for sending that to us. Hints are always welcome for the treasure hunting amusement park. And yeah, Mr. Randy Pischel, you did a video on Niamo Spec, which I thought was great, your thought process, and then we haven't got one yet from you. So I don't know if you're still working on it or if you've given up, because there are so many things to work on. Randy says 23. 23. I don't know what 23 means. There's two things Randy said. Randy said that if he was to get 20 reviews on Amazon of his book, and his book's called The Beacon Star, he would tell us which puzzle page in the book is a red herring. And then Randy said, I hope I'm getting this right. And then Randy said, if he gets to, no, I take that back. Let me rewind. What Randy said was if he sells 500 books, he will tell us what the red herring page is. If he gets 20 positive reviews on Amazon, he will give us a hint about the token. So those of you who don't know, there's a token. He says it's smaller than this, than a Forrest Fenn searcher coin. He hid it somewhere in Denver, Colorado. He's been out there like 10 years and nobody's found it. So he said he would give us a hint about that token. So 20 honest reviews. That's right. I'll save the word. Some woman posted a negative review, which I totally don't understand on there. So go and
if somebody's negative, that might be honest. I think he means, Mike, you better not have a Mike Cowling, Mike Cowlazars, Mike Kpro, Mike.
I never even thought of doing that. That's right. I never even thought of doing that.
Oh, come on. I'm the cheater. I'm the dirty, rotten scoundrel cheater. You're an honest soul. Actually,
let's go look and see. This is the link to the Beacon Star. Why do I want more people to work against me? I don't know. This is the link to order the book. It's only $7, guys. What do we say? Support people who do treasure hunts. Mike, any progress on Cipher 2 of H4H? Oh, no, the Hunt for History. That's another one I've been meaning to make a video on, the Hunt for History. And I saw your text, Nemo. No, I have not had time to look at it. There's a reason I think that one hasn't been found for 10 years. It seems a little difficult. Yeah, Randy says, I don't want anyone to say something they don't mean. So he means go give your honest opinion of the book. He doesn't want a bunch 20, wow, awesome, and that's it. Give a real review.
I will give if you can help me figure out how to do it, Mike, I will put one in there and it will be honest. I love his hunt, but there's some reasons why I'm not.
We're at 18. We only need 2 more reviews, everybody.
I haven't done one. I have not done one yet. And I bought his book.
Only leave a review if you've read the book. Don't just go here and do it.
Actually, the story is really awesome. Whether you think the treasure hunt or the ciphers, the story is pretty cool. I like the story.
You know what, Randy? 4.7 out of 5 is not bad at all. So that is the Beacon Star on.
We already have 7 thumbs downs. I mean, you should be proud that on this video.
And then the Enigma of Dolos is still out there. That's just a hard one. I've been working Beacon Star Dolos code centric. I just like Beacon Star. But I know it's in Denver. At least I know it's in Denver. I'm not looking all over the world. Bobby D says, I think the one that looks like clue number 4 is the red herring page. Well, it would be nice. Oh, wait, Randy says 20 more. It needs to hit 26. Oh, 20 more from when he made the video. Okay, not 20 total. All right.
Okay.
26, everybody. We need 8 more reviews. Thanks, Randy, for making the videos that you do. I like watching them, hearing your thought process on different things. And he says he's still working through that cipher.
Yeah, when a new video comes up, I'll say, hey, Mike, such and such has a new video. Go, oh, okay. I'll say, hey, Mike, Randy has a new video. What? Oh, hold on, everything.
In there about the beacon. So I got to watch it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. The Enigma of Dolos is still out there. That ride's still open. Mr. Clue did end, as we knew it would. It ended on clue number 11, I believe. He was going to go to 12. I did not know it was in Indiana. I was not able to put those clues together, but we do not know who found it. Somebody said, do you know who found it? No, but whoever does, I invite you to come on the program. But Mr. Clue did say there were like 4 or 5 teams of people in the correct area. So maybe you had to be from Indiana or be. The only thing I'll say is the never had a driver like, said the astronaut. I did put that together with Indy never had a driver like, chasing Indy. Indy was a full quote, and I did put that together with the Indianapolis 500, which was a correct. But I never figured out Will's Land. I never figured out who Nick was. I couldn't piece the rest of it together. So
well, I think the hardest part, and I heard you guys on a couple of your Zooms, the hardest part about it was it's kind of like the Forrest Fenn hunt. You find water, you find a canyon, you find something brown. There was a lot of areas that I remember saying to the one guy on the one Zoom, if this doesn't end up being the right location, that's a huge coincidence. How is that possible? And I just think there was lots of different states and cities that had many solutions. So that was the only thing that I've heard so far. Some people are disappointed because theirs fit better than the actual solution, because there was just, when you say, find Will, there's lots of Wills out there. So anyway.
Yeah, so Chasing Indy's riddle is out there. Niamo Spec's riddle is out there. Niamo Spec, maybe I should go live, because it seems to me if all you need is what's in that video, you have to apply the numbers to the words. And it seems to me the opals are the differentiator. So somehow we're supposed to do the count off of different opals, something like that. I haven't really had time to sit down. Oh, that's awesome. Randy says somebody transcribed the music to the cipher. And the other one is Master Morpheus got solved. And that one, congratulations to Brian Poppelman. Talk about a code. That one was tied to Forrest Fenn's poem. It was really genius what was done on that video. So congratulations to Brian. Oh, there's Brian. He's right there. I spent a lot of time with the music.
Well, and to be fair, it was several times in the middle of the night. Mike might have been up. He had figured whatever out, but he was adding rather than subtracting. He was very close.
Yeah,
Brian raced him to it, and God, he was like, something's happening. I know there's the pattern.
Step 1, I had the poem, I had the riddle or the code from the video. I was subtracting, not adding. And that's what was throwing me off. And I'm going, what am I missing? And that was just that simple thing. Never occurred to me to add. I don't know why. Nomadic Madman says, I received my game here in Boise. Thanks. Maybe I can make it to the end. Well, I hope we all make it to the end. But thanks for ordering the game. Everybody who's ordered something from us, it's in the mail, including the coffee cup. And you too can get your Cowlazars coffee cup if you shoot me an email. Yeah. Jeep Girl Jody says, what'd you figure out, Brian? Brian solved Master Morpheus. Actually, Mr. Morpheus. Sorry, Mr. Morpheus. Let me look it up. I'll show it to you guys real quick. So that one is over, but the solution is so hard. I don't know how you did it, Brian. I do know what the solution was, and I don't know how you did it. Let me find where that one is.
Well, and so those of you that don't know, we said this earlier, we're going to be a part of the Michigan hunts. There has been some issues. The issues so far have been the first hunt. He literally puts an X, I think in chalk, at the final location. And there's been some weather issues. So I think he needs to get back out there or something to make sure that X is actually there. So that's the first thing. There's been some issues with the amount of people that thought if like I emailed or messaged Johnny and said, Mike and I want to work on it. Do I have to buy 2 tickets? He's like, no, one per household. Just don't share it with like all of your subscribers and then think that none of them have to buy into it. A lot of people bought multiple. So
here's the genius, not to interrupt you, Kpro, but here's the genius of Master Morpheus. This, you convert these straight conversion to letters and it gives you a message. The prize was $2,500. Congratulations to Brian. But this is the genius. This is Forrest Fenn's poem. The actual letter count and line count is the exact same, but he changed the letters. So what you had to do in step 1 is just convert the letters for Forrest Fenn's poem to numbers and convert the letters of this code right here to numbers, just like he did right here. He converted letters to numbers. It was in our face the whole time. And then you had to add those two together to get a brand new message. This guy, Master Morpheus, actually created a brand new message from Forrest Fenn's poem into a whole new message. And then there were other steps, but I'm going to let him give that solution. It really was genius. If you're a code breaker, Charlie, it really was cool. I can't believe you did it in what, 10 hours? I think you said you solved it, Brian. Pretty awesome. Way to go. Okay. I think that's all I got. What do you think, Kpro? The Hunt for History is out there. Vegas Die, The Enigma of Dolos, Chasing Indy, Niamo Spec. There's of course, then the Kpro's Treasure Hunt, 5-letter word, right? 5-letter word.
5-letter word. And here's the thing, guys. Now that you know, it is if you use that wheel and that solves it and it's a 5-letter, 1 word, somebody should, by the time we're done right here, it should be found.
It's difficult. It's difficult to know what was in his mind when he's put it together. But we will give the solution once somebody solves it. You can get your free Chaseopoly Thrill Chase board game. All you got to do is solve it. And then, next time we get together, probably Monday, we will start to show you the Forrest Fenn interview.
The Forrest Fenn portion, and then we have the Forrest and Douglas portion. So
yeah.
Some people have already been messaging me and emailing me. Oh my gosh, look at all those hints that Douglas gave. I didn't see them. If they were there, that's why some people have been asking me, were there hints? And they've asked me since the beginning, were there hints? Were there hints? I didn't see them, but hey, I don't have the treasure chest. So,
Bobby D says, Kpro, do you have to show your work or can they just send the answer and that's it?
Just send the answer, guys.
If you can guess it, guess it. Chaseopoly@gmail.com. Chasing Indy says, thinking about making another riddle for a prize that includes a ruby from the Treasure Man. And that's another one that's out there. Treasure Man. Theodosia, we did one final Zoom. I hope that helped everybody out, all the boots on the ground people. I just don't know. It'll get solved eventually. I just don't know when. It could take 10 years. We'll see. Treasure Man's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks
for tuning
in. Make sure you subscribe. We'll go live Thursday on the Cowlazars channel to go over Vegas Die. $2,500 treasure hunt coming up in about a month. Actually, I can't believe it's July 20th yet already. Yeah, you can order the book from us and we'll have them available in about a month or so. Nemo says, are there any more Zooms? I have not thought about doing a private Zoom on any of the existing treasure hunts, right? Because we were doing Mr. Clue and that ended, and we were doing Theodosia, and me and Kpro decided not to do that one. If anybody has an idea for a private Zoom on a treasure hunt, reach out. You never know. We may do one.
Yeah, they're fun. So, and actually they make well, you shouldn't say any. You do one Beacon Star, but that's like your state. You can't.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's given. We do a weekly Beacon Star Zoom. Yeah, trying to solve those puzzles.
Yeah. So, but if you have a new one that you want us to jump into, that's the way to do it. So just let us know. We'll jump into 1 or 2. We had 4 or 5 going. That was too many. So, and look what happens. We did 4 or 5, and then they get solved.
Thanks, Tina. Back at you. Okay, everybody. Let's end it with this.
It's open when it's light, it's open when it's dark. It's the treasure hunt amusement park. Masquerade and Forrest Fenn are closed, but there are plenty more rides than just those. There's Beacon Star and Treasure Man, Vegas Die and Oak Island. Give them a try and you'll be smiling. This place never closes, that's for certain. There's always a reason to keep searching. Boots on the ground, look, look, look. Your ticket to the ride is the book. The dream of the treasure is the hook. The dream of the treasure is the the hook. Keep searching forever, start searching now. Grand adventures with Kpro and Cow. The secret, a gypsy's kiss, the whistle pig. Come watch our show, win a prize, little or big. This place never closes, that's for certain. There's always a reason to keep searching. Boots on the ground, look, look, look. Your ticket to the ride is the book. The dream of the treasure is the hook. The dream of the treasure is the hook.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. There's my Miss Belvis. There we go. All right. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay out of lawsuits.